Welcome to Marvel Rivals. Today we have an easy guide on how to install mods for Season 1. And don't worry, we won't be using Fmodel this time. Instead, we'll be using a much simpler solution, so you'll be able to get your mods up and running in no time. This again will only be texture mods, but make sure you hit that subscribe button because we'll be going over how to install audio mods very soon. For now though, let's get started. Now this works for both Epic and Steam versions, and the first thing you're going to need to do is have a clean install of the game. That means in Steam, right-clicking, going down to Manage, and then hitting that uninstall. For Epic, it means hitting these three little dots, and then hitting that uninstall button. So especially if you've been messing around with the game files, or previously have mods installed, you need to do this step first, because at the end if this tutorial doesn't work for you, you didn't follow the instructions. From here, once you have your game installed again, we're going to need to find our game root directory. So on Steam, right-click on Marvel Rivals, go down to Manage, and then Browse Local Files. For Epic, click on those three dots again, go down to Manage, and then next to Installation, you'll see this folder icon. Go ahead and click onto that. Whatever launcher you chose, you'll now be in your game folder, which should look like this. We're going to go ahead and click inside of our Marvel game, go inside of the next Marvel folder, inside of Content, and then you should see Packs, Oodle, and then Marvel. We now need to download two separate files. The first one is going to be the Marvel.7 zip, and this is basically going to be those loose game assets already unpacked, so you don't have to do that yourself in Fmodel. This is a couple gigabyte download, so it'll take some time depending on your PC. Our next download will be this Repack Unpack.zip, which will easily allow us to unpack certain mods that are in packed format. Again, so you don't have to mess around with unpacking it in Fmodel. Once you have both of these files downloaded, you need to extract each of these. You can either use a program named WinRAR, which is what I use, or a program called 7-zip. Both are free to use. If you're unfamiliar with WinRAR, I'll leave a guide down below, so make sure you watch that so you know how to extract these files. So once you've successfully extracted these files, we're going to dive into this Marvel folder. Inside, you'll see another Marvel folder. You're simply going to take this folder and drag this inside of the content folder of your game directory. This will copy a few files over, so once it's done, if you head into the Marvel folder in your game directory, you should now see these three folders: characters, non-assets to copy, and VFX. If you see these three folders, everything is installed correctly so far, so we'll go back and then we need to go into our packs folder. Here you should see a file called pack chunk character windows.pack. You simply need to click on it to highlight it, right click, and then press that delete button. Then you need to start up the game to make sure everything boots up. If you get struck with a corrupted files notice, it's more than likely you didn't follow the advice at the beginning of the video by not having a clean install, or you somehow messed up copying over that Marvel folder. If this is the case, you need to start again. But if your game does start up, go ahead and go to your Heroes tab and just hover over a hero. If it takes a bit for some of these heroes to load up, that is definitely fine. That means you've done it correctly so far. Once you verify that your game is running correctly, we can now install a couple mods. You have two different kinds of mods, one being like this to where you click into it, you'll see the Marvel folder, content, Marvel, and then inside of the characters folder, you should see a numbered folder. This is the loose file version, and this is honestly the easiest one to install. This is what we would call Season 1 mods. So in order to install Season 1 mods, you basically follow the same path. So we'll go into Marvel game, we'll go into Marvel, content, Marvel again, and then characters. And then in the actual mod, if we go into Marvel, content, Marvel, characters, you'll see that we have the 1050 folder. If you look in your game directory, you'll see that it also has a 1050 folder. This is where all the Invisible Woman assets are found. So you simply just drag this mod inside of this folder. It'll ask you to replace a bunch of files, and when it's done, you successfully installed a Season 1 mod. Now some mods are .pack files still, which you could basically call Season 0 mods. So if you want to install a mod like this, you simply need to go into your Repack Unpack folder we unzipped previously, and then you're going to drag that pack file inside of that same folder. Now with that pack file you just moved, you want to drag it on top of the unpack pack.bat. Once you do this, you will see a new folder, and you may have had a Windows pop-up if it's your first time. In that case, just click more info and then run anyway. But after the bat unpacks the file, you're going to click inside of this folder, and now you should see the loose assets. So we'll click into Marvel, content, Marvel, and then once you click into characters, you'll see another numbered folder. Now same as last time, you're just dragging this folder inside of your characters folder in your game directory. It'll ask you to replace a couple files, and you simply just say replace files. Now if you ever messed up or you don't want a certain mod for a specific character, all you need to do is go back into your Marvel folder, inside of Marvel, Characters, and then whatever character number you need, simply take that folder and replace it back in your game directory. This would turn the character back to its default, or if you just wanted to restart fresh again, you could just restart the process and drag this entire Marvel folder over. Now you should be able to hop in the game to make sure your mods work, and sometimes it could take a bit for the models to load in. That's just how the way it goes when modding Marvel Rivals right now, so definitely make sure you have this game installed on an SSD compared to a HDD if you want the fastest load times possible. Hopefully now these mods are easier than ever for you to install. So if you want to see even more mod guides like this, including the audio mods coming up, make sure to hit that like and subscribe. Until next time though, we'll see ya.